Welcome back, friends, to Techno Tips Learning, and I am here with a new video on Microsoft licenses. And this video is created after I received a comment on my last video, which said uh, understanding Microsoft licenses is not very comprehensive. So it says understanding M365 license is headache. I work as a security engineer. I'm still confused about how their license model work for different products. Can't find any good video with clear and concise explanation like how real organizations use it. So definitely Microsoft licenses is a bit confusing because Microsoft does not provide the complete license in one go, because if it provides you one license for and it includes all the services into it, the license will definitely become very costly. So Microsoft is trying to give you licenses in different and through separate bundles, and it has segregated different license categories so that what you need you can use that, and you pay for those services only. So let us begin with the video and let us understand Microsoft's licensing model and why there are multiple licenses or multiple subscriptions which are given to you by Microsoft, and we'll explain each and every part. So watch this video till end, and I request you to subscribe to the channel so that when I publish my videos on identity access management or other technical videos, you get notified and you get to watch and get to learn. So once again, I'm not an expert. I can make mistakes. Whenever you find me making mistake, you can write in the comment. I will definitely try to improve, and yeah, I will definitely try to improve. And let us start with the video, understanding Microsoft licenses. So I have created a kind of presentation on whiteboard. This time it is not a PowerPoint presentation or a, a Word document. So it is Microsoft licenses. And to make it more comprehensive, I have broken it. So we will talk about Microsoft licenses. I need to add here uh, Microsoft Teams as well, because that is a standalone license, and um, we must discuss about it as well. So first, let us discuss Microsoft Azure. I created a kind of AI video on this, but that I myself did not feel that comprehensive, that explanatory. So let us look at this video on my on licenses, and we will try to understand Microsoft Azure. So Microsoft Azure is a subscription, or it is a kind of container that holds your Azure resources. When I talk about Azure resources, they are virtual machines, database, storage, your networking devices, and so on. So Microsoft Azure is nothing but it provides you computing facilities, like you can host a virtual machine, your database on Azure, Microsoft Azure cloud environment, and you can access it. And the three licenses that we get with Microsoft Azure, first one is free trial, I'll explain. Pay as you go also will explain. Enterprise agreement. So mainly we will focus on free trial, pay as you go, and enterprise agreement. So first thing is, many people think that Microsoft Azure or Entra ID and 365 like they are all Microsoft products and you get a bundle of these. So no, we will first keep Microsoft Azure very separate from all other subscription models. So Microsoft Azure is on its own a complete solution to provide you virtual machines and other resources, computing resources. So let us see about, like, this is a Microsoft data center, and here you host like your virtual machine database applications. Microsoft Azure creates this data center, so it is actually a physical machine running in Microsoft data center, which is available through a high speed internet from anywhere in the world. So suppose it is data center 1, so Microsoft will create another data center and will clone the machines, and it will create another data center. So what happens when you try to access, you can access it from any of the nearest data center. If any of the facility fails, Microsoft will provide your services or equipments from its other remaining data centers, which are known as availability zones. It is divided by, it is a division which is done by Microsoft Azure. So when, if you are learning Microsoft Azure, you will get to learn all these things when you go through the Microsoft Azure tutorial and deploy a virtual machine or any of the network resources. So what happens is, suppose you are not hosting any device on cloud, you're not using the cloud, you are, so you have to maintain your own on-premise data center or on-premise servers for the work to be done. So if you have office in one location and office in another location, so then what you create is, every location you will have to create a kind of a server room where you will put your Active Directory servers, your Exchange servers, and all the servers, and they need maintenance, right? So you would have seen in your offices like there are server rooms. Every now and then someone goes and checks the temperature. There is an access control which is set. There are dedicated engineers who are monitoring these hardwares, these servers in the server room. So that is an extra operational cost that a company has to bear. Now that operational cost will be reduced by Microsoft Azure, and the hardware, you do not need to manage the hardware as well. The only thing that you need to manage is a high speed internet connection, right? So internet connection you need to manage, and that is it. You will get all the services over the cloud. Now you have to pay a price for you to use these services, and those price you pay through subscriptions. So first one is free trial. Like, if you want to try Microsoft Azure, you can go and get a free trial. So first log in, you create a Microsoft account. You can find a video on how to create a Microsoft account on my channel itself. And after you create a Microsoft account, you need a credit card to start a free trial. So I'll mention it here. So what Microsoft will do, so you'll need a credit card. So Microsoft will verify this credit card and charge $2, and it will refund it to you as well. So it is just for verification. And with the free trial, what you get is $200 credits that you can use within 30 days. So what you'll get is $200 credit, and which is for 30 days. So whatever expires first, 30 days finishes first, or $200 you use. So suppose you have created a virtual machine which you run for a week or maybe 10 days, and the cost for running that virtual machine for 10 days is $200. So your subscription, your amount which is left will end, and then you will have to, Microsoft will tell you to move to another subscription which is pay as you go. So it is like pay as you go, as the name suggests itself. What services you use, you have to pay for those services only. Suppose you're running a virtual machine, then you have to pay for the virtual machine for the time that virtual machine is up. So we will discuss the free tier and the pay as you go in detail. So I'll take you to this website, which is portal.azure.com, and I will be logged in with my business basic account here. Okay, yeah, it is up. It is a long and boring video, so I will suggest you to fetch a bottle of water, coffee, anything that you want, and then watch this video. I do not create short and fancy videos, that is a drawback, but my videos will be explanatory and it would be based on my experience, not reading it out from somewhere, but it is based on my own experience. I have this license, I'm using it. That is the reason I'm creating this video. So uh, this is the free trial. So you click on start and you get $200 credit. So 12 months of popular free services, but that are of not much use till the time you don't understand how to use them. Um all right. Then, because I have exhausted my free trial, so if I start it over, it will ask me to go through a pay as you go subscription. So let us see. If I click on start, so either, so Azure free account available only to new Azure customers. Okay, close it for a while. Okay, so it is available for new customers, and free monthly amount of 20 plus popular services, 65 always free services, access to full catalog, $200 credit, spending protection, no upfront commitment. You can cancel anytime. $200 credit. You have to use it within 30 days. If you talk about pay as you go, it is pay only for what you use. So it is simple. If you have this as your subscription, if you deploy a virtual machine, you have to pay for the uptime or the number of times your data is being accessed from database or your blob storage. These all things will come under pay as you go services. The third one is enterprise agreement license subscription. Enterprise agreement is, if I want to show you, let me show it to you. If I type enterprise agreement, Azure enterprise agreement is, so you can find multiple videos on it, this as well. uh, The Microsoft Enterprise Agreement offers the best value to organization for more than 500 or more users. So the first understanding is, if your organization is running with 500 or more users, you can go for an enterprise agreement subscription, and you can find the documentation here, and you get a kind of how it works. So it comes with a 3-year subscription. So year one, true up, true up. So you can actually understand what the true up is during the term of your enterprise agreement. Devices, product, and services at any time. You can add and adjust user device without having placed individual purchase order. through the annual process. So when you renew, if you are adding new devices, when you renew, it will start with year one. So it basically comes up with a 3-year agreement, and it gives you some discount like 10% or 15% discount based on your uh, employee count or user count. So you can actually go to this link on enterprise agreement and understand. Moving out to our sheet here. So enterprise agreement we discussed. So these are three main licenses: free trial, pay as you go, and enterprise agreement licenses that are main. Now, what happens when you buy Microsoft Azure subscription? You get a free Entra ID subscription, right? Entra ID subscription you get a free Entra ID subscription. If you are buying Microsoft 365, any of these services, you need to understand it will include a free Entra ID subscription, which is our next topic. So Microsoft Azure you will give you a free Entra ID subscription as well, because you can manage users and groups there. Single sign-on is provided through Entra ID. When we discuss Entra ID subscription in detail, I'll show it to you. Now, using Azure, if you are deploying a virtual machine or database, who will access it is the question. So, to make this accessible to your organization, a free Entra ID subscription will be provided to you. You can assign the users, you can provide access to the users, and it is Azure is a subscription based model, and subscription is the basic unit for billing. You already know that. So I'll not spend much time on Azure here. Let us move to our next topic, which is Microsoft Entra ID. So now we will understand Microsoft Entra ID licensing. So you have Azure, you have created basic user account. So the first thing that you get with any Azure subscription is Microsoft Entra ID free. It is also known as Azure Active Directory. Earlier it was confusing because Microsoft Azure Active Directory both were separate from the beginning. However, the terms were confusing, so Microsoft has changed the name of Microsoft Azure Active Directory to Microsoft Entra ID. Now, the first tier is Microsoft Entra ID free. If I purchase kind of Office Microsoft 365 Business Basic, so when we discuss Microsoft 365 subscriptions, we will also discuss this. You get Microsoft Entra ID free. If you buy Azure subscription, you get Microsoft Entra ID free with it to create the basic user accounts. So let us discuss the Microsoft licenses like P1, P2, and Entra workload and external ID in detail. So Microsoft Entra ID is nothing but is to manage the identity and access in your organization. This is an identity provider, Microsoft Entra ID, provided by Microsoft. So first one is we'll discuss Microsoft Entra ID free. It is included with every Azure subscription, as I mentioned earlier. Also available with Microsoft 365 subscription, ideal for small setups for testing. Key features: you can create users and groups. You can Azure AD join for Windows 10 and 11 devices. Single sign-on is provided up to 10 apps per user. So single sign-on we will definitely discuss when I discuss identity and access management and Microsoft Entra ID in full. Microsoft 365 integration that you can do. Basic security features like Multi-factor authentication by default is provided to you. Any user you assign, they can sign up for multi-factor authentication to log in. And self-service password change for cloud users, because Microsoft Entra ID free plan only allows you to create cloud users, so it provides self-service password reset for cloud users. Now let us go to Microsoft Entra ID P1. So this is premium subscription included in Microsoft 365 E3 and is also available as standalone. So you have an Azure subscription, you get Microsoft Entra ID free. So when you navigate through Microsoft Entra ID free, you do not get much features, but then Microsoft will give you options to buy a standalone premium P1 plan, right? So this one, Microsoft E365 E3, we will discuss, it is a costlier plan. However, if you buy the Microsoft Entra ID P1 premium, you can get it as a standalone if you don't want to spend much. It is best for organization needing more control over access and identities. So the premium plan, it gives you more control for creating your identities and providing them accesses. So additional features, like all these features are there which are in P1, but additional features would be conditional access policies. So you can create the access policies, what a user can access based on conditions. Multi-factor authentication with custom policies. So I will explain multi-factor authentication with custom policies, when a user will use multi-factor authentication, when to exclude a user from multi-factor authentication. If it is a service account you're using, you can exclude from multi-factor authentication, and the security aspects that you keep with multi-factor authentication, like excluding or including hybrid identity with on-prem AD. So all my videos earlier were on creating on-premise active directories. So with P1 plan, what you get is hybrid identity. So you can actually sync your on-prem user accounts which are on Active Directory to Microsoft Entra ID. So they work in a sync. And this is done through Azure AD Connect, Entra ID Connect, which is known now, and self-service password reset SSPR for on-prem synced users. So now here you have Active Directory identities which are on your on-prem users. You sync them with Microsoft Entra ID. When you sync them with Microsoft Entra ID, you do not need to touch your Active Directory to reset a password. Users themselves can go to the SSPR portal, the self-service password reset portal, and reset their password. So this feature is provided in P1. Group-based access management, so you can actually add Microsoft Entra roles to groups that you create, and you can provide access through groups. And SLA backup backed uptime is 99% for the Entra ID P1. So this was Entra ID P1. And now we will discuss Entra ID P2. So definitely it includes into it, all these into it. Okay, now it is correct. And included in Microsoft 365 E5 or as an add-on to P1. So what happens? You purchase standalone P1, then it is P2 is available as an add-on to P1. So you can add P2 to P1. Now, best for enterprise needing advanced security and governance. So it is advanced security that P2 provides. So identity protection, risk-based conditional access. So you identify risk in your organization. Someone is logging in with a shorter password than recommended. Someone is logging from a different location. Now, suppose someone logs from India today, and after 1 hour, you find that he's logging in from United States. Now, that is a risk activity, right? Identified as risk, how a person can change the location so frequently. Today he's logging from India, tomorrow from United States, day after tomorrow he logs in from Spain. These kind of identity protection risk based conditional access you can provide. Privileged identity management, it is not that you provide persistent access. So suppose you have a security administrator or global administrator role in your organization. What PIM will do is you do not provide a persistent global administrator role to a user. When and how it is needed based on a condition, he will go to the PIM management, he will activate the role, he will put a justification there. The role will be active for some time, and then after that period of time the role will go away, it will not be in effect anymore. So it the privilege identity management is a kind of protection that is provided. Access reviews, so with P2 you get access reviews that you can do when a user logged in, or what resources he was able to access, what changes he made on your tenant, what. So all these will come under access review that you get with premium P2. Entertainment, entitlement management, risk detection and reporting, governance for B2B and B2C users. All this you get in the premium plan P2. So I will explain it one more time how you can use it. You get, now suppose this is Azure subscription, right? So I'll tell you Azure subscription. Now what do you get with it? You get free Entra ID, right? You're running well and good, no problem. But now you want to put some kind of security, like not very harsh security, or you just want to provide some conditional access and multi-factor authentication, or you want to join hybrid and you do not need like access reviews to be done. Your organization is not that big, maybe. So what you'll do is you will go and purchase Microsoft Entra ID P1. Okay. Now, after some times, you feel that no, you need more granular control over the accesses, and your headcount is increasing, your number of administrators in your account, in your organization increasing. So you add Entra ID P2 to your organization for all these features. I hope it is clear now. This is how I understand. So currently we are not talking about Microsoft 365 E3 or E5. Microsoft 365 E5 we will discuss it, but for now I think this explanation is understanding. So one more thing, if you buy Microsoft Entra ID P2, or you buy Microsoft Entra ID P1, so you do not get Azure, right? But when you get Azure, you get the free Entra ID. This is the difference. Azure is not same as Azure Active Directory. That is why the name changed. That is why I want to refer it as Entra ID. Microsoft wants to refer it as Entra ID. So hope you get till here. Proceeding forward, we will discuss Microsoft 365 licensing. Now, suppose your organization first use Azure and then you moved to Like you got a free Entra ID subscription, free Entra ID subscription with it. Now your employees inside your organization want to communicate with each other. So the communication channel you thought of using, like Microsoft application. For documentation, you use Word. For you use Excel. For presentation, you use PowerPoint. For sending emails, you want to use Outlook. So you go ahead and explore Microsoft 365. So let us see what Microsoft 365 is. So Microsoft 365 is a subscription based suite for productivity tools. Like I mentioned, Word, Excel, PowerPoint, too many things are there, and security tools as well. The license determines which app and services and how these application and services will be used and accessed. So first is Microsoft personal, family, and individual home use, right? So this is anybody can go and buy Microsoft 365 personal and family. Second is Microsoft 365 education plans for school, colleges, and universities. So suppose this setup is for a school and you want to buy Microsoft 365 for school. So what all you get here is there are three tiers of licenses school plan: A1, A3, A5. And so let me see if I have made a note for it. So I don't think. All right. Okay. So Microsoft 365 education plans for school, colleges, and universities. Education licenses are often free or heavily discounted and come in few tiers. All right. So A1 is Entra ID free. A3 gives you Entra ID P1. A5 gives you Entra ID P2 plus advanced threat protection. So this is perfect for school, colleges, and universities. If your organization is kind of school, so you can choose between these plans. So what A1 gives you is Microsoft application. It will give you these are web only application. A3 will give you full desktop application, and it will give you full desktop apps plus advanced security. This is A3. So let me make it more clear to you. Okay, I don't think it is working. What I want is no. Okay, I will not waste my time here. So sorry for this. So A1 gives you web only, A3 gives you full desktop apps, A5 give you full desktop apps plus advanced security. Uh, Cloud services that you get is Teams, OneDrive, Exchange, SharePoint. Security is basic, Intune for education, Entra ID P1, Entra ID P2, Defender for identity, etc. Cost prepaid. All plans include Microsoft Entra ID. So all plans include so these are the additional features. Uh, this is confusing for you, right? Let me clear it out. Okay, let me share a screenshot in that case. Uh, okay, all right. This is the screen shot, and then so all right. So Microsoft apps, you get like Microsoft apps means you get web only access to Word, Excel, PowerPoint, Outlook with A1. With A3, you get full desktop apps. With A5, you get full desktop apps plus advanced security. We'll discuss it. Cloud services, Teams, OneDrive, Exchange, SharePoint, you get with all these. Security is basic. You get Intune for education. Intune is MDM, Microsoft Device Management tool that we will discuss. And you get Entra ID P1, which I discussed earlier when discussing Entra ID. Entra ID P2, Defender for identity, etc. You get with A5. Now, cost is A1 is free of cost. You need school or student identity. A3 is paid, and A5 is paid with more features. So obviously the cost will be higher for education plans. A5. Okay, so let us now move to other plans in Microsoft 365. Okay. Now, Microsoft 365 business plans for small to mid-sized businesses up to 300 users you can manage here. So currently I have business basic. When you move to other plans which are business standard, so let us see Microsoft business plans, right? If I write it, business Microsoft corporate 360 business plans. Okay, so these business plans would be Microsoft 365 business basic, Microsoft 365 business standard, Microsoft 365 business premium, Microsoft 365 apps for businesses. So they all give you these productivity tools. With business basic, you can access all these applications via web. You cannot access the desktop application. With the Microsoft 365 Business Standard, you get the desktop application. Other services are there, Copilot and other availables as an add-on. Microsoft 365 Business Premium, this is the cost, and Advanced Identity and Access Management, Advanced Threat Protection. So all these things you get with business plans, and 365 apps for businesses will give you desktop version of apps. Anything else you do not get, like advanced identity access management and such. It is just if you want to deploy an application for business, you can use this. So this is the business plan, and then we go with Microsoft Enterprise Plan, 365 Enterprise Plan. So when we talk about Microsoft 365 enterprise plans, it generally comes with additional security features like P1 and P2 as well. So let us see Microsoft 365 E3 or enterprise plans. Microsoft 365 enterprise plans. Okay, it's taking a bit. All right, so I am trying this now, Microsoft 365 E3. I am trying it now. So these are enterprise plans. So let us see what they provide. This is the cost, and this is front end licenses for front end workers. Now, if you see Microsoft 365 apps for desktop and mobile, Windows for enterprise, it gives you Windows license as well, 1 TB of cloud storage, cloud security, Microsoft 365 Copilot. With E5, you get advanced security and compliance, scalability business, Microsoft 365 Copilot available. With F3, you get web and mobile version of Microsoft 365 apps, standard security capabilities. It is not much. It is for front end workers where they are in the field and they want to access their applications. So you can actually buy these licenses 365 F3 for those. And yeah, these are the applications that you get with E3. All right. With Microsoft 365 E3, you automatically get Microsoft Entra ID P1 subscription. Microsoft 365 E5 gives you P2, Microsoft Entra ID P2 subscription with it. So now suppose taking a scenario in your organization, suppose, okay, let me go move to a blank area. So you have your organization running and you want to deploy applications like Word, Outlook, and so you will end up buying. First thing comes in your mind, you don't want more security or something, so you buy M365 uh, Business Basic. So you don't want like the applications to be installed on the desktop. Everybody will be able to access Microsoft 365 applications over the cloud. So it comes with Entra ID free version. So I'll show. Sorry. Okay. Sorry. So Microsoft 3. So you want the application to be installed. Sorry, not installed, and everybody can access it on the web. So you can simply buy this, and you have Entra ID free version available. Right now, later you changed your mode, and then you want applications to be installed. First you need it on web, then you need it, or few of the users in your organization want to install the desktop application. So install on desktop. So the nearest plan that you will buy would be M365 Business Standard. Now this business standard will allow your users to install the desktop. Now suppose you want users to install, and like then you changed your security thing came into place. So to add more security, so still the user wants to install on desktop, right? And then what you will get is M365 Business Basic, and you will get Entra ID P1 with it, right? So you get Entra ID P1. Sorry, I made a mistake here. You buy a premium and you get Entra ID P1 with it. All right. Now your headcount increased. The headcount in your organization increased. What will you get? The first thing you get is, and you still want the P1 Entra ID P1 level of security, so you end up getting Microsoft Enterprise E3, and you get with this you get Entra ID P1. Okay, I'll discuss it in more detail. Uh, just be with me, and if you want more security, you end up getting M365 Enterprise E5. So this is how, and you get Entra ID P2 with it. ID P2 with it. Now, with editions, with enterprise editions, you get your licenses, your Windows licenses as well, and you get Microsoft Intune to manage devices. With these business plans, you do not get Intune. Keep in mind, you do not get Intune or device management capabilities. With Enterprise E3 and E5, you can enroll devices, control the devices in your organization, as well as if you have Microsoft Enterprise E3, you can register your machine with Enterprise E3. I have the trial. I'll show it to you in my upcoming videos. So keep watching. Now, ooh, ooh, ooh. Now the education plans we discussed. Here are the plans again. So Microsoft 365 web-based Office E1 Teams SharePoint. Okay. With E3, you get full Office application, Exchange Online, Teams, OneDrive, SharePoint, Azure ADP1, or Microsoft Entra IDP1. This is Entra IDP1 and Intune, as I discussed. So with E1, Microsoft E1, you get web-based Office applications, Exchange Online to manage your Exchange, SharePoint admin side, Teams admin you can do with E1. Microsoft E3, you get desktop application, Exchange Online, Teams, OneDrive, and Intune. E5, you get all of E3, which is discussed above, and you get advanced security, which is Microsoft Defender, Defender for cloud apps, Azure ADP2, compliance, which is Microsoft Purview, and advanced analytics that you can use with E5. F3 is again frontline workers, limited office apps, Teams, Exchange, kiosk plan. I hope this is clear. The Microsoft 365 plans. Now, suppose you want to manage the Entra ID, but you do not want to deploy the productivity applications. So you do not want Word, Excel, PowerPoint to be deployed or users to use it, but you want security. Then Microsoft comes up with Enterprise Mobility Plus security plans. Okay, clear? You have Microsoft 365 plans, E1, E3, E5, F3. You have Entra ID plans, P1, P2, right? So based on your need, you can choose the plan. And if you do not want your users to use the Office applications, you just want the security. So Microsoft present you with Enterprise Mobility Plus Security. The plan one is EMS E3, which is Enterprise Mobility Plus Security E3. What it provides you is identity and access management, Intune, Defender for identity, Purview info protection. Defender for endpoint, it does not provide, like the application, the Defender application to be installed on your devices, it does not give you. Defender for cloud apps, privileged identity management, it these are not included, but these are included in E5 plan, and it gives you Entra ID P1, it gives you MDM and MAM, which is Microsoft Intune, threat detection in Active Directory, data classification and protection in Purview. Now in E5 you get advanced identity management, advanced device management, advanced identity protection, ad- advanced data protection, endpoint protection. All these things you get in Enterprise Mobility Plus security licenses or subscriptions, but you do not get the Office apps. So I'll cross it and I'll write no Office apps. Okay. Now, now we move to our last part, which is Microsoft Teams license, right? So Microsoft Teams, any of the Office plans that you get, like business plan or enterprise plan, you get Microsoft Teams, right? You can use it, and uh, so Teams you can use, right? But then the Teams come with multiple plans, and these are standalone plans. Microsoft Microsoft Teams Essential, and why you use need these licenses, I'll explain. Microsoft Teams standalone, Microsoft Teams phone standard calling plans, Microsoft Team room shared devices. Okay. Now with these plans, if you look, Microsoft Teams Essential is like so team this plan in this plan in Teams, Microsoft Teams Essential, it is like it gives you Microsoft Teams without any other Office application. Now suppose your organization wants to collaborate with different among different users, and you do not want like Office applications, so you can get Microsoft Teams Essential, which will do only chat and group messaging, unlimited meetings. You can do meetings through Microsoft Teams up to 30 hours, meeting capability up to 300 participants, calendar integration. You can use Outlook, or but Outlook is if you are using a kind of retail version of Outlook, you can integrate it with it. Calendar integration you can do. So yeah, calendar integration with Outlook or Google you can do. File sharing and collaboration you can do. Phone calls to landline or mobiles you cannot do with Microsoft Teams Essential. Microsoft apps applications you do not get. Microsoft Office applications. Email exchange you cannot manage online exchange online if you are using Microsoft Teams Essential. And yeah, storage is 10 GB per user, right? So that was Microsoft Teams Essential. In a standalone, Microsoft Teams standalone is much similar to Microsoft Team Essential, but it has more IT controls. And with Microsoft Teams phone standard calling plans, you can actually, it includes uh, calling to landline and mobile phones, creating auto attendance, creating call queues, assigning the license. So all these are Microsoft terms that I have used, but I do not have these licenses. Maybe I can try and show it to you how to create auto attendance, how to create calling plans, how to integrate your PSTN uh, into it. But that is a complete chapter when you in Microsoft Teams is a complete tutorial, right? Microsoft Teams rooms and shared devices. You can actually book a room through Microsoft Teams, and you can share hardware scenarios. So you can actually share hardware devices through Microsoft Teams. So what are these devices? So in general, if you see devices like Yealink, let me see if I can show it to you. Uh, Yealink devices. So maybe images I can show it to you. These are Yealink devices, or the calling devices. You see, it 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 is not built for anything else. You can integrate. There would be an option to for you to select Microsoft Teams, and you can log in with your Teams account, and then you can use it for calling and do meetings. Another devices like kiosk devices you can use with it. Poly Studio is another device that you can use with this calling plan. Poly Studio, maybe yes, no, come. Yeah, this is the Poly Studio, and these are built for Teams calling. Microsoft Surface Hub is another device that you can use. So it actually you get it with Microsoft Teams room share devices. With calling plans, you can actually make calls to landlines. You can receive calls from landlines. You can assign your team a phone number, like you can act as a call center as well. And standalone, essential, I have explained already. So I think we are done with it. And all right. All right, so I think we have discussed all the licenses here, and so far, like it is, there would be more, but so far, what I know, I have shared it with you. Let us see some used case scenarios as well. Okay, so this is our first use case scenario. There is a startup, it is using Gmail but needs device security and identity protection. So use case is a small IT services startup with 25 employees uses Gmail and Google Drive but wants to manage employee laptops, enforce MFA, and protect company data. Now, whatever we discussed, now we need to check the details. This company is already using Gmail and Google Drive. So this company does not need, it is a small company, it is a startup. The first thing is it does not need Microsoft Outlook or Google Drive, but wants to manage employee laptops. If the company wants to manage employee laptops, it will need Intune. It wants to enforce MFA and protect company data. So it needs to enforce MFA, can be done with P1 as well, and protect company data, which is advanced security. So what subscription this company will get? Recommended is EMS E3, Enterprise Mobility Security. Why? Because it gives them Entra ID P1, which we discussed, Intune and information protection without forcing a switch to Microsoft email or Office applications. Okay, so this was good. Let us move to the next use case scenario, which is a mid-size enterprise that wants full productivity plus security. Full productivity plus security means a company with 200 employees. First, the size is a big one. It needs office applications. It needs to manage an online exchange. It needs to manage teams as well, and it needs device and identity protection as well. So what it will need, Microsoft E365, Microsoft 365 E3. Why? Because it includes everything they need. It adds productivity tools, which is Office applications and Exchange, core EMS capabilities, enterprise management system capabilities, which has Entra ID P1, Intune, and basic data protection. So there is no need to invest in E5. All right. So third use case scenario, highly regulated industry, which is finance or healthcare, needing advanced protection. A finance from firm needs advanced threat protection, real-time monitoring, data classification, and PIM as well. So if it needs PIM, it needs to have Entra ID P2 that we discussed. Advanced threat protection, it was included in E5 or uh, enterprise mobility plus security E5. Real time monitoring, which is the monitoring of the devices. Hmm. So let us see. It needs Microsoft 365 E5, which provides the full stack with Entra ID P2, Defender for identity, cloud app security, and advanced compliance tools. Use case scenario 4, organization wants team only for collaboration. Ah, a digital marketing agency with 10 freelancers uses Google Workspace but wants team for internal meetings and file collaboration. This one is easy, right? We need Microsoft Teams Essential. Yeah, lightweight, cost effective way to get Teams without switching email or getting Office applications. Last one is hybrid workspace, needing meeting room integration. A hybrid org wants to convert 3 meeting rooms into smart conference room with Teams, touch panels, and video conferencing. I think we discussed it. It was the last one in the list, and it was Teams with room conferencing. Microsoft Teams Room Pro for each device, support advanced room features, remote management, and third-party meeting. Join Zoom or WebEx. So we need to go through the video to get this information. We have to use all the resources that guides us for Microsoft licenses, and then we can help our organization, help our businesses to get a perfect license which is cost effective, which is more useful to you. Do not end up buying a license and then cursing Microsoft that it charges you for everything. So this was it on the video. If you like it, do like the video. If you want more videos, do subscribe. That acts as an encouragement to me as well to give you more, create more videos like this. If you find any problem with this video, go ahead and put a comment. No worries, I will try and improve myself. It is my learning as well while you are learning. Thank you and have a nice day.